नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद प्रहलाद हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलातङ्कानखालाय शिलातङ्कानखालाय तो नरसिंह परतो सिंह तो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बाह्ये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह बाह्ये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदि शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदि शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत शृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गा तव करकमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत शृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत शृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय 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 लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रभुपदा जय Prabhupada Jaya, 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 Prabhupada.
Hari Bol. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vishal Prakash Prabhu. As always, Kirtans are very special, and today especially it was so divine, and you sang with so much devotion. So thank you, Prabhu, for so nicely singing
Thank you
uh,
so much, Prabhu.
on this auspicious day. So
Thank you
before
so
we
much.
begin, I'd like to request the blessings of Navya Lalita Mataji on her dear daughter, Manishika Mataji, and also seek the blessings of senior devotees like Kameshwar Prabhu and Krishnan Prabhu to shower their blessings on Manishika. She's been preparing a lot whole week and she's very excited. So we are all really looking forward and eager to hear from her on this very special chapter. So please take it over, Manishika. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhuji, can I share my screen?
Yes, ma, you can.
Okay, okay.
1 minute. You should be able to share now. Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, very clear.
Okay. Great. First of all, thank you, Prabhuji, for singing Nursing Aarti so nicely and lovingly. And I really adore your singing skills. You're amazing. And also, I would like to welcome all of you and thank you for joining today's session. This is for the very first time that I'll be speaking. I am very happy and excited, but a bit nervous. As all of you know so much, all of you are, oh, wait, all of you are exalted devotees, and I know very little. And whatever I'll speak today, with whatever little knowledge I have, please correct me whenever, wherever I go wrong, or when I speak anything incorrectly, please correct me. And secondly, I'm really grateful for this opportunity because of this, I was able to read thoroughly, hear a few lectures, and prepare. And I really pray, and I really want all of you to pray for me that I get some taste in reading, as I really enjoyed reading this chapter for this session. So thank you all of you again. And let's start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमामि विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are going to read about chapter 9. Prahlad Maharaj pacifies Lord Narsimhadev with prayers. Yes. So in the previous chapter, which Kamesha Prabhu led, we saw and heard that Hiranyakashipu was ready to kill his own son, Prahlad Maharaj, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared in front of the demon as Sri Narsingadev in half lion and half man form and killed him. And today we'll see and discuss and dive deeper into chapter 9, which is really very sweet, wherein Prahlad Maharaj, following the order of Lord Brahma, pacified the Lord when the Lord was extremely angry after having killed Hiranyakashipu. So, in this chapter, we will also see how Prahlad Maharaj prayed intensely to the Lord. And we will also tap on a few points about the qualities of a true devotee, which Prahlad Maharaj demonstrated. So, moving ahead, before we start reading the verses, there are in total 55 verses in this chapter, in which verses 1 to 7 is related to after Hiranyakashipu's death. Lord Narsingadev remained furious, and despite all the efforts by the demigods and even Mother Lakshmi, no one could calm him. And in verses 8 to 50, Prahlad Maharaj, very confident in Lord Narsingadev's affection, respectfully approached him. He offered his obeisances and he received spiritual knowledge through Lord's divine touch and offered prayers in full devotion. And in verses 51 to 55, Lord gets pacified and asks Prahlad Maharaj for any boon. So, knowing this, I would want everyone to hear the translations very carefully, especially the prayers. The prayers are really very sweet and heart touching. And also, I will ask a few questions in between. So, let's start with reading the verses. Let me share. Yes. So, Prabhuji, I just want to know how can we go about this? Like, there are 55 verses, so each reader can, so there can be 5 readers. Each reader can read 10 verses, and the last reader can read 5. Can we go with this, or 4
Yes.
readers would be good?
I think we can go with 5 readers, like
Okay,
how we have
okay,
planned.
okay. So,
I can start, Manishika, if that's okay.
okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
The great saint Narad Muni continued, the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other great demigods dared not come forward before the Lord, who at that time was extremely angry. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ji, was requested to go before the Lord by all the demigods present, who because of fear could not do so. But even she had never seen such a wonderful and extraordinary form of the Lord, and thus she could not approach him. Thereafter, Lord Brahma requested Prahlad Maharaj, who was standing very near him, "My dear son, Lord Narsimhadev is extremely angry at your demoniac father. Please go forward and appease the Lord." Narad Muni continued, "O king, although the exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj was only a little boy, he accepted Lord Brahma's words. He gradually proceeded toward Lord Narasimhadev and fell down to offer his respectful obeisances with folded hands. When Lord Narasimhadev saw the small boy Prahlad Maharaj prostrated at the soles of his lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection towards his devotee. Raising Prahlad, the Lord placed his lotus hand upon the boy's head because his hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees. By the touch of Lord Narasimhadev's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlada was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Thereafter, he at once became transcendently situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. His heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Narasimhadev with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. Prahlad Maharaj prayed, "How is it possible for me, who have been born in the family of Asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words. Although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness, then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified." Prahlad Maharaj continued, "One may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahmanical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, life, wealth, and life, to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana in a position of false prestige cannot purify even himself."
Thank you, Prabhuji. Kamesha Prabhu raised his hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
From verse 11. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee, for the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. Therefore, although I was born in a Brahmanic family, I may without a doubt offer praise to the Lord with full endeavor as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers praise to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. O my Lord, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma are sincere servants of your Lordship who are situated in a transcendental position. Therefore, they are not like like us, Prahlada and his father, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Your appearance in this fearsome form is your pastime for your own pleasure. Such an incarnation is always meant protection, protection and improvement of the universe. My Lord Narasimhadeva, please therefore cease your anger now that my father, the great Raman Hiranyakasipu, has been killed. Can you scroll up?
Manishika, you have to scroll up because Prabhuji is on the phone.
Prabhuji, do you want me to increase the font size?
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
My Lord Narasimhadeva, please therefore cease your anger now. My father, the great Raman Hiranyakasipu, has been killed. Since even saintly persons take pleasure in the killing of a scorpion or a snake, all the words have achieved, all the words have achieved great satisfaction because of the death of this demon. Now they are confident of their happiness and they will always remember your auspicious incarnation in order to be free from fear. My Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your swelling eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp, itching teeth, your garden of intestines, your veins soaked with blood, or your high, wedge-like ears. Not very fear your tremulous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life in this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal of liberation and conditional life? O great one, O supreme Lord, because of my combination with pleasing and displeasing circumstances, and because of separation from them, one is placed in a most regrettable position within heavenly or hellish planets, as if burning in a fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of miserable life, any such remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that the only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. O my Lord Narasimhadeva, by engaging in your transcendental loving service, the association of devotees, who are liberated souls, I shall become completely uncontaminated with the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his secret succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of essence. My Lord Narasimhadeva, O Supreme, because of a modern conception of life, embodied souls neglected and for, not cared for by you, cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child, a physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat and the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy, a cause for which they work, a place where they work, a time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but manifestations of your energy. Indeed, since the energy and electric are identical, all of them are the manifestations of.
Thank you, Rosie. Prakash, can you read from text 21?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic desires of karma kanda, fruitive activity, and the 16 elements. Who can get free from the entanglement unless he takes shelter at your lotus feet? My dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents, but you are transcendental to the material qualities. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control, and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I am being crushed by the wheel of time, and therefore I surrender fully unto you. Now, kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at all the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet, my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the ant. As powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do not wish to possess them. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert? Or, in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is its value? Is it merely a source of various? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they're unable to control their senses, they run after so-called happiness of this material world and never come to the right conclusion. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which is never offered even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you have put it upon mine. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my lord, you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, the favorable and the unfavorable, because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Nonetheless, you offer your benedictions according to the level of one's service, exactly as a desired tree delivers fruits according to one's desires and makes no distinction between the lower and the higher. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as a disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? My lord, O unlimited reservoir of transcendental qualities, you have killed my father, Hiranyakashipu, and saved me from his sword. He had said very angrily, if there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. I shall now sever your head from your body. Therefore, I think that both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just to prove true the words of your devotee. There is no other cause. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation, for you existed before the creation, you exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by an external energy through actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally and internally is you alone.
Thank you, Rosie. Nupur, can you go next?
My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is certainly a type of illusion, Maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore not different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is non different from you, and the annihilation is also caused by you. The relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation, the creative energy is kept in you, who appear to sleep with half closed eyes. Actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being, for you are always in a transcendental stage, beyond the creation of the material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss. As Karanodakshai Vishnu, you thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects. Although you appear to sleep, this sleeping is distinct from sleeping in ignorance. This cosmic manifestation, the material world, is also your body. The total lump of matter is agitated by your potent energy known as Kala Shakti, and thus the three modes of material nature are manifested. You awaken from the bed of Shesha Ananta, and from your navel a small transcendental seed is generated. It is from the seed that the lotus flower of the gigantic universe is manifested, exactly as a banyan tree grows from a small seed. From that great lotus flower, Brahma was generated. But Brahma certainly could see nothing but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find the source of the lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you. However, when a seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. Lord Brahma, who is celebrated as Atma Yoni, having been born without a mother, was struck with wonder. Thus, he took shelter of the lotus flower, and when he had been purified after undergoing severe austerities for many hundreds of years, he could see that the cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was spread throughout his own body and senses, just as aroma, although very subtle, is perceived in the earth. Lord Brahma could then see you possessing thousands and thousands of faces, feet, heads, hands, thighs, noses, ears, and eyes. You were very nicely dressed, being decorated and bedecked with varieties of ornaments and weapons. Seeing you in the form of Lord Vishnu, your symptoms and form being transcendental, your legs extending from the lower planets, Lord Brahma achieved transcendental bliss. My dear Lord, when you appeared as Hayagri with the head of a horse, you killed two demons known as Madhu and Kaitaba. who were full of the modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your forms as transcendental, untinged by material qualities. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion in the age of Kali. However, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Tri Yuga, or the Lord who appears in three yugas. My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and lusty, being sometimes so called happy and sometimes so called distressed. My mind is full of lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. Thus, it has become most polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you. I am therefore most fallen and poor. In such a status of life, how shall I be able to discuss your activities? My dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, the genitals to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch to contact with soft things. The belly, although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. Krishna.
Thank you, Nupur. Megha Mataji and Saraswati raised their hands. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first अगर कोई issue नहीं है तो.
Okay. Thank you, Saraswati.
कोई नहीं. हाँ. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, original spiritual master of the entire world, what is this difficulty for you? Who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service? You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities, it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore, I think that you will show your causeless mercy to persons like us who engage in your service. O best of the great personalities, I am not only afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in your thoughts of your glory and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I'm simply concerned with love for them. Also, till where do I have to read?
Till 50. 50th text.
My dear Lord Narsimhadev, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Maun Vrat. They are not interested in delivering us. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Okay, I cannot read that word.
Griyamedis.
Grihomedis, so-called grihastas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Krapnas, the fools who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are Dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are 10 prescribed methods on the path to liberation: to remain silent, not to speak to anyone, to observe vows, to amass all kinds of Vedic knowledge, to undergo austerities, to study the Vedas and other Vedic literatures, to execute the duties of Varna Samadharma, to explain the Shastras, to stay in a solitary place, to chant mantras silently, and to be absorbed in trance. These different methods for liberation are generally only a professional practice and means of livelihood for those who have not conquered these senses. Because such persons are falsely proud, these procedures may not be successful. By authorized Vedic knowledge, one can see that the forms of cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the cosmic manifestation in his energy, both cause and effect are nothing but energies of the Lord. Therefore, O my Lord, just as a wise man, by considering cause and effect, can see how fire pervades wood, those engaged in devotional service understand how you are both the cause and effect. O Supreme Lord, you are actually the air, the earth, fire, sky, and water. You are the objects of sense perception, the life airs, the five senses, the mind, consciousness, and false ego. Indeed, you are everything subtle and gross, the material elements and anything expressed, either by the words or by the mind, are nothing but you. Neither the three modes of material nature, Satvaguna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna, nor the predominating deities controlling these three modes, nor the five gross elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your lordship, for they are all subjected to birth and annihilation. Considering this, the spiritually advanced have taken to devotional service. Such wise men hardly bother with Vedic study. Instead, they engage themselves in practical devotional service. Therefore, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because without rendering 6 kinds of devotional service unto you, offering prayers, dedicating all the results of activities, worshipping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet, and hearing about your glories, who can achieve that which is meant for the Brahma
Paramahansas.
Paramahansas. Yeah.
Thank you, Saraswati. Nitya Mataji, just 5 verses are left.
Sure.
Yes.
The great Saint Narada said, thus Lord Narasimhadeva was pacified by the devotee Prahlad Maharaj with prayers offered from the transcendental platform. The Lord gave up his anger and being very kind to Prahlad, who was offering prostrated obeisances, he spoke as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Prahlad, most gentle one, best of the family of the Asuras, all good fortune unto you. I am very much pleased with you. It is my pastime to fulfill the desire of all living beings and therefore you must ask from me any benediction that you desire to be fulfilled. My dear Prahlad, may you live a long time. One cannot appreciate or understand me without pleasing me, but one who has seen or pleased me has nothing more for which to lament for his own satisfaction. My dear Prahlad, you are very fortunate. Please know from me that those who are very wise and highly elevated try to please me in all different modes of mellows, for I am the only person who can fulfill all the desires of everyone. Narada Muni said, Prahlad Maharaja was the best person in the family of the Asuras, who always aspire for material happiness. Nonetheless, although allured by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who offered him all benedictions for material happiness, because of his unalloyed Krishna consciousness, he did not want to take any material benefit for sense gratification. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And thank you all the readers reading all the translations so nicely and enthusiastically. Thank you. So moving ahead, yes. So let's start with the verses 1 to 7. So now after Lord Narsingadev appeared in front of Hiranyakashipu and killed him, seeing this, all the demigods, everyone became super happy. After that, all the demigods, all the Vidyadhars and others started praying to the Lord. They praised the Lord. But still, after all this, Narsingadev was so angry, and no one was able to pacify the Lord. And all the demigods and everyone was afraid of going in front of Narsingadev. Even Mother Lakshmi was very afraid. She saw that the Lord's appearance as Narsingadev for the very first time, and she was the Lord's wife. So the question arises here is, why was everyone so afraid of the Lord? Why were the demigods and everyone was afraid of going in front of Lord Narsingadev? Why was Mother Lakshmi afraid? So does anyone want to shed some light on this? Okay. Okay, then I'll share. So, in the very first two texts and their purports, Srila Prabhupada explains, I'll read the purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung in his Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. Anger should be used to punish a demon who is envious of the devotees. Kama, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy, all have their proper use for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotee. A devotee of the Lord cannot tolerate blasphemy of the Lord or his other devotees, and the Lord also cannot tolerate blasphemy of a devotee. Thus, Lord Narsingadev was so very angry, and the great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and even the goddess of fortune, who is the Lord's constant companion, could not pacify him. Even after offering prayers of glorification and praise, no one was able to pacify the Lord in his anger. But because the Lord was willing to exhibit his affection for Prahlad Maharaj, all the demigods and others present before the Lord pushed Prahlad Maharaj forward to pacify him. And in another purport, the second purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, the Lord has unlimited forms and bodily features. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. These all are situated in Vaikuntha. Yet, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, being inspired by Leela Shakti, could not appreciate this unprecedented form of the Lord. In other words, for the common men, the form of the Lord as Narsingadev is certainly unseen and wonderful. But for a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, such a fearsome form of the Lord is not at all extraordinary. By the grace of the Lord, a devotee can very easily understand how the Lord can appear in any form he likes. Therefore, the devotee is never afraid of such a form. Because of special favor bestowed upon Prahlad Maharaj, he remained silent and unafraid, even though all the demigods, including even Lakshmi Devi, were afraid of Nrsimhadev. So I think the purport has explained and answered the question. Does anyone still have to share something on this, or should we move ahead?
Yeah, this is this is nice question and answer. I was also thinking that Prahlad Maharaj was put to so much torture by his own father. Like 5-year-old boy, if you imagine going through such traumatic incidences of getting into the snake pit, being trampled by an elephant, pushing him from the mountain. I mean, imagine that amount of um, torture that has been gone through, and certainly the Lord is, even beyond his, like, the utmost anger personified he has become. So in order for, it's not that Lakshmi Devi and other demigods are not able to, cannot pacify. It is just that it's gone to such an extent that only the cause of who was the cause of that um, that anger to have been brought about was the only source which can also bring down the anger, I think. To that extent, they all
Yes.
said, okay, only you can do it. So if it can go from 0 to 100, 100 to 0 can also be possible only by you. I guess that's why.
Oh, very, very sweet, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Very
Just
sweet.
my blabbering. Sorry.
No, Mataji, it was really sweet. Very sweet. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, then after this, Lord Brahma asked Prahlad Maharaj to go in front of the Lord. Only he can pacify him. So Prahlad Maharaj went in front of the Lord, offered his obeisances, and as soon as Lord Nrsimhadev saw him paying obeisances, Vatsalya Bhav appeared inside the Lord. He picked up Prahlad Maharaj and he kept his lotus hands on his head. And due to this, Prahlad Maharaj became Abhay. All his fear was gone and he became freed from all the material happiness. Then Prahlad Maharaj, with his mana, drishti, and buddhi, he starts praying to the Lord. Okay, now we have officially entered from 8th to 50th section. Now Prahlad Maharaj begins with his heartfelt prayers. So we can't go through all the prayers as there are many, but I'll share most of the prayers which will help us reflect and introspect. And all these prayers are really nice. So the first prayer he does is he says that I don't have any qualifications or qualities to praise you, my Lord. I took birth in a demoniac family. Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and all the other demigods are very qualified as they are always in the mode of goodness. So here Prahlad Maharaj thinks of himself as insignificant and he thinks that he has no qualifications. And later in text 26, uh, he said that, Oh Lord, you never put your lotus hands upon the heads of the demigods and other pure devotees of yours, but why upon mine? So here, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that this is a quality of a pure devotee. They think that they are insignificant. In Shikshashtakam also there is it's there that Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnunam, that it says that a devotee should consider oneself to be smaller than a blade of grass, and the mood should always be very humble, and the person should always think that I'm insignificant of all. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that I'm insignificant and I'm lower than Jagai and Madai. But I was introspecting, and I was thinking about this. What happens is, okay, let me share my own realization. So, if I do progress in something like in bhakti, or I do something nice for others, I get pride and I think that I'm doing such a great thing. I'm such a great person. I'm so nice. But here, if we see the examples of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj himself, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Amar jiva sada pape rata nahi ko punyera lesha. Parera udvega jiachi jeko to diachi jivera klesha. So he says that I am impious sinner, and have caused others great anxiety and trouble. He writes this for himself. Even though he's a Shuddha Vaishnava, he has written a whole bhajan. I've just put as just a screenshot of just one line. I'll share the entire bhajan in the group. But like I was very much, I felt so bad that I think about all these things, and all the Vaishnavas, they think themselves as very insignificant. So there is so much to learn from these Vaishnavas, that whatever I'm doing, in whatever good state I am in, I should be grateful to the Vaishnavas, because of their mercy I'm here, and we should not take pride in that. And we should think that in 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years ago, where was I? At what level of bhakti I was at? Because of the mercy of all the Vaishnavas, I'm here. Whatever good we are doing, it's all because of the Vaishnavas. And with this mood, if we have this kind of mood, Krishna will be very pleased, and he will come closer to us. Then in another prayer, Prahlad Maharaj says that no one can pacify you with dhan, money, beauty, aishwarya, buddhi, shiksha, knowledge. And he says that, however, one can satisfy the Lord simply by what? Can someone answer this question?
Devotional service.
Yes! Yes! Devotional service, yes. Bhakti. So with bhakti, like if we do little bhakti, like thodi si bhakti also, then also Lord gets satisfied. So he gives the example of Gajendra. He gives the example of Gajendra. He just offered a lotus flower with love and devotion, and the Lord was pacified, he was satisfied. And he says, oh Lord, you don't focus on any externals, you just focus on the bhakti. This verse is so sweet. It's such a sweet prayer. Very sweet. Then Prahlad Maharaj says that, oh Lord, if one is a Brahmin, like in scriptures it is said that there are 12 gunas of a Brahmin. If a Brahmin has all the 12 gunas, if that Brahmin doesn't do your bhakti, or doesn't have any bhakti bhav towards you, then he is lower than a Chandal. And if a Chandal has bhakti bhav and prem, love for you, my Lord, then he is above a Dvija or a Brahmin. So it doesn't matter in which family or society we are born in, All we have to think about is doing bhakti. That's it. And in Bhagavatam also, Sutta Goswami says these two verses. Ata Pumbir Dvija Shrestha Varna Ashram Vibhagasha Swanushthita Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Dhara Swanushthita Pumsam Vishwaksena Kathasuya Notpadiyed Yadi Ratem Shramaiva hi Kevalam. So this means whatever we are doing, be it any work, if we are doing it with integrity, with sincerity, like a Brahmin with all 12 gunas, he is doing everything that is required. But if all the work that we are doing, or whatever work Brahmin is doing, is not increasing the love for the Lord, then it is of no use. If that work is not helping us get closer to the Lord, then it's of no use. So here I would like to stop in between and ask if anyone has any reflections to share. No reflections? Okay. Okay, so let's go further. Then in another prayer, Prahlad Maharaj says that all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, are all your servants and your devotees, and all are situated in transcendental position, and you are advent, paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya cha dushkritam. Oh Lord, your advent is for protecting the sadhus and killing the demons, and not creating fear in anybody. So, oh Lord, all the demigods that are your devotees, they are very afraid of you right now. So please, Lord, please don't be angry. See how sweetly Prahlad Maharaj is praying in front of Lord Nrsingadev, and he's trying to pacify the Lord. Then Prahlad Maharaj kept on praying to the Lord. He says, "Oh Lord, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes. And Narad Muni, who is my guru, accepted me. I'm such an insignificant being. And after accepting me, he gave me the path, the guidance to do bhakti and surrender myself unto your lotus feet. So the first important thing to do is to do seva for my guru, Narad Muni. So let's read the purport of this this text. It's very nice. The entire purport is very nice. Yeah, text 28. So I'll read. As will be seen in later verses, even though Prahlad Maharaj was directly offered all the benedictions he might have desired, he refused to accept such offerings from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the contrary, he asked the Lord to engage him in the service of his servant Narad Muni. This is the symptom of a pure devotee. One should serve the spiritual master first. It is not that one should bypass the spiritual master and desire to serve the Supreme Lord. This is not the principle for a Vaishnava. Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera charana sevi bhakta shanevas janame janame hai yabilash. One should not be anxious to offer direct service to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one become a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Das Das Anudas. This is the process for approaching the Supreme Lord. The first service should be rendered to the spiritual master so that by his mercy one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to render service. While teaching Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. One can achieve the seed of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru, the spiritual master, and then by the mercy of Krishna. This is the secret for success. First, one should try to please the spiritual master, and then one should attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur also says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. One should not attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by concoction. One must first be prepared to serve the spiritual master, and when one is qualified, he is automatically offered the platform of direct service to the Lord. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj proposed that he engage in the service of Narad Muni. He never proposed that he engage directly in the service of the Lord. This is the right conclusion. Therefore, he said, Soham katham no vishje tava bhritya sevam. How can I give up the service of my spiritual master who has favored me in such a way that I am now able to see you face to face? Prahlad Maharaj prayed to the Lord that he might continue to engage in the service of his spiritual master, Narad Muni. I think purport itself was self-explanatory. I really like this purport a lot. It's very nice. Srila Prabhupada kept on repeating that we have to serve the spiritual master first, then only we can serve the Lord. Amazing purport. So, moving ahead, Prahlad Maharaj continued praying, Oh Lord, in Garbhodak ocean also, when you were resting, from your navel a lotus appeared and then Brahma was born. And then when he was born, he wasn't able to understand where he came from. And he wasn't able to understand his existence. So for many years, he roamed here and there, inside the ocean, outside the ocean, but still he doesn't get to know about his existence. Then while doing so, he hears two words, ta-pa, which means tap. Then he does tapasya for many, many years, and then realization was achieved by Lord Brahma. So here, Prahlad Maharaj says that even demigods like Brahma cannot, like without your mercy, my Lord, they won't be able to get knowledge about you. With your mercy only, they are able to build the entire universe. Then he also says, Oh Lord, you are on one side of the Vaitarani Nadi, Vaitarani river which is between material and spiritual worlds. And we are on the other side. We are doing all the karmas, we are getting all the karmas, and we don't know how to go to the other side of the river to be with you. So, Lord, please shower your mercy on us and give us mukti. Then he says that, so this is the topmost prayer. Like in all the prayers, this is the topmost prayer. Naivo dvije para dhuratyaya vaitaranyas tvad virya gayana mahamrita magna chitta shoche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharam udvato vimodhan. He says, Oh Lord, I don't have any tension. I don't worry. I'm not worrying whether I'll be able to cross the river or not. Because Tvad Virya Gayan Mahamrita Magna Chitta. My mind is always thinking about you, about your glories and activities. Shyoche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha. But when I think about those vimud jivas, those who don't have knowledge about you, who don't love you, who don't want to serve you at all. Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvato Vimudhan. Those who are in Maya and not do your bhakti, when I think about them, then I worry a lot. I'm very sad for them. I'm grieving for them. And okay, I have one question. Then, like, why have these people turned away from the Lord? Can someone answer that? Why have these people turned away from the Lord? It's mentioned in this verse itself. Can someone answer?
Sense gratification.
Very nice. Indriyartha. For the sake of their senses and such gratification of senses is Maya Sukhaya. It is simply illusory happiness in which Bharam Udvato. They take all sorts of false responsibilities upon their heads. Vimudan, therefore they are very foolish. So for a pure devotee like Prahlad, who is always absorbed in devotion to Lord Krishna, to Lord Narsingadev, no other suffering matters to him. So that is how Prahlad Maharaj was seeing the Lord inside the pillar. And Hiranyakashipu was looking at him and he thought that I'm looking at Prahlad, I'm talking to Prahlad, and why Prahlad is not looking at me? Why is he looking at that pillar? And Hiranyakashipu, of course, he could not see the Lord in the pillar. He didn't have those Divya Drishti, only Prahlad had. So he got very angry and he challenged Prahlad. He said that you are speaking so much nonsense and I will sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipable Lord come and protect you. So now, like after challenging Prahlad Maharaj, he was challenging the Lord himself, sorry. So the question arises here is, why should God accept the challenge of such a foolish and ignorant person? Can anyone go and challenge Lord, and will God be obliged to take that challenge? So I was thinking about this question, and I also heard this in lectures by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj. So in this case, Hiranyakashipu was very fortunate. His son was a pure devotee. And when Hiranyakashipu challenged Prahlad, is your Lord in this pillar or in that pillar? And after smashing the pillar, the Lord appeared in front of him and took up the challenge. So here, Lord accepted the challenge, not for Hiranyakashipu's sake, but for Prahlad's sake. So the very important point here is the Lord appears not so much for the demons, he appears for his devotees. So paritranaya sadhuna, which means to save the devotees is more important than vinashaya cha dushkritam. For the Lord saving the devotees is more important and valuable than destroying the miscreants. Because the miscreants can be destroyed by anyone. But as far as saving the devotees is concerned, it is a very personal matter. It is a matter of love. Therefore, the Lord will not delegate that duty to anybody else. He will do it himself. He will come himself. Whereas killing the miscreants, he has so many demigods, he has so many agents who will do the needful. So it is only the love that will bring the Lord in front of us. Nothing else will. And he also says that there are so many sadhus that just want good for themselves. They want to get delivered, and for that, They go to Himalayas and they do tapasya and they get delivered. But I don't want to do that. Prahlad Maharaj says, I don't want anything good for myself. I just want to do good for people who don't know about you, my Lord. These jeev, they all are sad as they don't have shelter under your lotus feet. So I want to help them get closer to you. So here, Prahlad Maharaj teaches us that a sadhaka should always help others to get closer to Krishna. So this is what Srila Prabhupada has also done. He doesn't say that we should be bhajananandi. Do devotion in your own space and be happy. Do kirtan by yourself and do reading and be happy by yourself. He said that we should be Ghoshtiyanandi. We should be happy in performing sadhanas and bhajans by ourselves also. And we should also benefit others also by preaching Krishna consciousness. So this is a very important point, I feel. And by this we can get mercy, kripa from the Lord. And we should not think that we don't know anything. How should I preach and all? Whatever we know, like we can preach about that. Whatever little we know. For example, I heard this in a lecture that Shyam Sundar Prabhu's daughter, his daughter's name also is Saraswati. So he said once in front of, Saraswati said once in front of Srila Prabhupada, when she was very little, she said, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And when Srila Prabhupada heard that, Srila Prabhupada said that she is also a preacher. She told whatever she knew. She's so little. So we should preach whatever we know and help others get closer to Krishna. We should not think that I'm not a Shuddha Bhakt, I'm not a pure devotee, and then I can't preach. We should not think like that. So whatever little change we got in our lives, whatever little positive change we got in our lives, to whatever extent, to that extent, we can preach. We have seen, right, like those who go really deep in devotion, they preach more and more. Let's take let's take senior devotees for example. They always talk about Krishna, and their spirit is so high all the time. Like Gaurakumar Prabhu, Nitya Mataji, Kameshwar Prabhu, and so many devotees who are present in this session. And if we also talk about Radhanath Swami Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and all the Maharaj, they are all unstoppable. They preach all the time. They have given their lives for this. So we should also use our skills to help others, to help ourselves also, and to help others also to get closer to Krishna. Like that, there are so many sweet prayers, but I think, yeah, we are running out of time. But last prayer that I would like to share is when Prahlad Maharaj says that, oh Lord, there are so many ways to get mukti. Some people do fasts for it. Some go to holy places. Some dip themselves in holy rivers. And there are many other ways to get liberation. And because they get pride in doing these activities, they don't get the fruit or the results of those activities. So I pray to you, my Lord, I offer my obeisances unto you. Without doing your bhakti, we can't achieve anything. Nothing can happen. And all these prayers are very touching. And in some way, it might have touched your hearts as well, I believe. And with the help of these prayers, Prahlad Maharaj has taught so many things. Then in verses 51 to 55, then, like after listening to all these prayers, Lord Nrsimhadev becomes very happy, he becomes very pleased. He says, Oh Prahlad, I'm very happy with your prayers and know that only I can fulfill all the desires. So you can ask for any boon you desire. But Prahlad Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord. He doesn't believe. He doesn't believe in what we say, barter system. He doesn't believe in barter system. He like he did some bhakti and he wants something in return for that from the Lord. He doesn't want that. And that is why he didn't ask for anything. And later in the chapters also we'll get to know that how he chose the path of pure devotion. So at last I would like to end by saying that tomorrow is Narsingha Chaturdashi and it is one of the main tithis. And for the devotees of the Lord, what is the closest thing to them? It's Madhav Tithi, which means the days that are connected to the Lord and his devotees. And as Narottam Das Thakur says, Madhava Tithi Bhakti Janani means mother of devotion. So therefore, we should celebrate these days with love, devotion, and sincerity. So let us all pray with folded hands that, oh Lord, oh Narsinghadev, whatever you have resolved all the adhyatmic issues in the life of Prahlad Maharaj, please for us also, please remove all the material obstacles so that we can get closer to you and help others get closer to you and help us become a devotee of yours. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Haribol. That was one of the most enlivening, devotional, nourishing, deeply nourishing class, Manishika. It was heart touching, and you kept our attention throughout with very nice bhajans and nice purports, and with so much love, you made us all go closer to Lord Narasimhadev today. So thank you so much for preparing so nicely and delivering so nicely. Even though this was your first class, definitely in your previous life, you have given many, many classes, because such a class for the first time is amazing, amazing. So thank you so much. I'll let others also speak. I'll be very grateful if your parents also speak. Mahaprabhu Kirtan Prabhu and Navya Lalita Mataji. आपको कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, माता जी और सभी डिवोटीज, आप सबको मेरा दंडवत प्रणाम। प्रभु जी, क्या मैं हिंदी में बोल सकती हूँ?
हाँ हाँ माता जी, बोलिए प्लीज।
प्रभु जी, मैं बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे और मेरे प्रभु जी को सुनकर, और मुझे पता नहीं ये कहना चाहिए या नहीं कहना चाहिए कि हमें बहुत प्राउड फील हो रहा है, और ये सोच के प्राउड फील हो रहा है कि आप जैसे उसको स्पिरिचुअल मदर फादर मिले, मतलब जो हम नहीं कर सके वो आपने किया। इतना अच्छे से मनु ने प्रेजेंट किया है, इतने अच्छे से मनीषिका ने प्रेजेंट किया है कि हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा सुन के। और प्रभु जी, आपसे एक बात शेयर करना चाहूंगी कि जब मनु छोटी थी ना, तो कहती थी मम्मी मेरे तो कोई ब्रदर सिस्टर है नहीं, अपने कजन्स को बांधती थी राखी। मैंने कहा क्यों नहीं, आपके हैं ब्रदर हैं ना, नरसिंह भगवान आपके ब्रदर हैं, इनको आप राखी बांधो। तो तब से ये नरसिंह भगवान को राखी बांधने लगी। मैंने कहा भगवान आपको आपकी रक्षा करेंगे। तो आज आपने और नित्या विशाखा माता जी के कारण मनु को ये बोलने का अवसर मिला, नरसिंह भगवान की प्रेयर्स बोलने का अवसर मिला, तो ये उन्हीं की कृपा से ही उनको इसको बोलने का अवसर मिला। तो आप सबका प्रभु जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नो डाउट कि इसमें वल्लभ चैतन्य प्रभु जी ने इसको बहुत सपोर्ट किया, तभी तो ये ऐसे बोल पा रही है। वल्लभ चैतन्य प्रभु जी और नुपुर, इन दोनों के सहयोग से इसने बहुत अच्छे से प्रेजेंट किया। और बस मैं यही कहूंगी, आपको धन्यवाद दूंगी कि जो हम नहीं कर सके वो आपने किया। ये बहुत शर्माती थी बोलने के लिए, तो धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत बस मैं यही कहूंगी प्रभु जी। हरे
Oh,
कृष्णा।
thank you, Mataji, and thank you for sharing that little sweet pastime that right from a very young age, Manu was tying Rakhi to Nrsingadev. It's such nice samskaras that you both, as wonderful parents, have taught her. So we're very inspired by amazing parenting, Mataji. Very touched. And thank you so much, Mataji, for joining today. हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आप आए हमारे छोटे से संघ में और आपने आशीर्वाद दिया हम सबको. Thank you, Mataji. Kamesha Prabhu, would you like to share anything?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah. Well, I just would like to express my gratitude because today is Chaturthi for us in India morning, every morning. So exactly, Anshika Mata is such a good mood for all the devotees happening there. In India, we are celebrating today. So very auspicious day started with speech of Anshika Mata. It was really, really good. Actually, she spoke from her heart inside, very deep inside. So it is very, very, very much touching actually. So especially I like in that point she was brought out. She was coming out like she told that directly Bhagavan will come. He won't delegate anybody. Directly he comes to for any other thing he will delegate. Anything else like but in case of protecting devotees like Gajendra and Prahlad, he himself directly comes. That is the love he is having for pure devotees. So, and also second point is uh, the anger of Narasimha, like why he's not that point of moment, why he's so angry, because uh, Lord will not accept or will not tolerate torturing his devotees. Many atheists are there, many atheists will speak against him and spoil Lord, and it doesn't bother him. Instead, he gives all the facilities to the atheists to criticize him. So he supports even atheists also who speak against him. He tolerates him, but he doesn't tolerate if his devotees are tortured. So, like in the case of Mahaprabhu also came in the Brahma avatar. He doesn't want, according to his avatar, he should not kill anybody. But then Jagai and Matai, the Jagai and Matai, they are against, like, when they hurt Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he could not tolerate. He was looking for a chakra. He forgot everything about his avatar, present situation, and what should be done, what should not be done. Everything he forgot. Immediately he wants to kill. And also in the case of Bhishma, like when Bhishma is throwing arrows against Arjuna and all, he forgot his bow, like I will not touch any weapon. Forgot everything, all his about his bows and all. He attempted to kill Bhishma at the point. So that is the love he gives to his devotees. So his Mataji mentioned Mataji very nicely with all those points. As you mentioned, even the first lecture, we have seen a lot of previous experience in giving such lectures to the devotees. So I wish all the best in the future. I want to hear more and more from Sri Mataji. And I also would like to appreciate and congratulate our parents who brought up in a very nice way. And also, I'm happy that they are here, structure in our families. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And also, alongside you, YouTube, we are in constant association with Muslim Mataji. We are also very happy, and Mataji also getting their association. Very nice. I'm very happy. This is such a ideal combination in a single family. Thank you very much. Whatever.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kameshwar Prabhu. Krishnan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji. You know, I had the good fortune of meeting you in March when we were there for Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's class. You know, you're such a such a high energy nice person, and that was reflected in your class completely today. There were so many wonderful points, and the one point that that especially when you said it stuck with me was the Lord actually came down to keep Prahlad's word, and to make sure that his word is not is not a lie. So that was such a wonderful thing. The entire class was so beautifully done, and I'm also surprised. I doubt, I'm sure that you've spoken before, because your voice modulation is so excellent. You can communicate the emotion through your through using your voice. So it was, you're almost like a professional. I think you must have done drama or something in school, because it feels like you know how to how to control your voice and modulate it. And your slides were amazing. You put such good work right from the beginning. It felt like you're watching a nice documentary thing. And obviously you've heard so many classes by Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj and other people. So that was, and you brought us, you churned all that nectar and then you got it for us. So thank you so much, Mataji, for doing all this hard work. And we hope to listen to many more classes of yours. It was such a joy to listen to it. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Prabhuji, you mentioned about the plays, the dramas. I have done a few.
Yes,
have
I
done a
knew that
few.
because the way you project your voice and the way you use your voice is. See, I think you're actually a natural speaker. So
No,
we
Prabhuji,
hope
not
you
at all. Not at all.
we hope
Not
we
at
listen
all.
to many more classes from you.
I've learned like whatever I've learned is from all the devotees. Like whenever I used to hear classes on Tuesdays, so I learned from that, and of course, my Prabhuji also have taught me. He has taught me so many things, and my mother also. He has taught me so many. She has taught me so many things. So yes, because of all of you and my parents also, I was able to
No, 1 second, Manishika.
do.
1 second, 1 second. I want a few more devotees to speak. And I want Nitya to
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Nitya to speak, and then yeah, if she wants to say anything, because she's been a big part. Haribol? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I just did a chat. I don't know if we'll get a chance. So, I yes, Mataji, Navinilita Mataji, and Prabhuji. It's so, your humility has passed on to your daughter also. And you are taking no credit for any of this. But in fact, it is a seed that you sowed at engage in Manishika's life that has fructified now into this beautiful, humble and a very balanced devotee that she has become. And that she's able to communicate and articulate such a beautiful, it is a culmination of a lot of things, such a beautiful pastime, and also, with the beautifully articulated and communicated and prepared class by Manishika. It's both the culmination of both the things. The delivery was amazing. It was meticulous and in all respects. Like Krishnan Prabhu shared, I also felt that this was not the first time that she's giving the class, for sure. And yeah, I've only seen you as a very bubbling and highly energetic person, but this class was like, you were sober, and you were you were calm and you just delivered, like stood and delivered. It was really wonderful to see this side of yours, actually. I think, a lot to be said about Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu also, to carefully guide her, in this part of the life that she's in. And definitely it's, so much support from all around. And it's really wonderful to see how you have blossomed. Yeah, very nicely done.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I just wanted to reflect back on what Krishnan Prabhu said, the words of a pure devotee. The Lord actually comes just to fulfill the words of a pure devotee. In the case of Lord Brahma, the Brahma made some vows, and to fulfill that and to fulfill the words of Prahlad Maharaj, as we read last time, Satyam Vidatum Nijavikta Bhashatam, Vyaptim Sa Bhuteshu Akhileshu Chatmanaha, just to fulfill the words of his devotees, the Lord will do anything. So, in that regard, Srila Prabhupada was also a pure devotee. So, he has told us several times that if you all chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles, you will go back home, back to Godhead. Now, just to fulfill the words of Srila Prabhupada, who is a pure devotee, if we follow that, then there is no doubt that we will have a higher destination. That much faith we must have. That is one thing that when Manishika was speaking, I also was touched by that. And the other thing that really touched my heart was how all these amazing souls, whether it's Ramanujacharya or Prahlad Maharaj, they always have this desire that no matter how much I suffer, I just want to give Krishna to others. Selflessly give Krishna to others. Bhakti Tirtha Swami also said the same thing. Vasudev Vipra, Ramanujacharya, here Prahlad Maharaj is saying this. And several devotees, exalted devotees, always have that mood of giving Krishna to others, no matter how much they suffer or how much pain they go through. Even if they die, it's okay. But they will die giving Krishna to others. So when Manishika was sharing that verse, that really touched my heart. And I was very touched because she said it with so much love and selflessness, because by nature, Manishika is a very selfless person. She takes on a lot of pain upon herself to give so much love and care for others. So when she was saying it, it really touched my heart. So thank you, Manu, so much for that point. And last but not least, I mean, if anybody else wants to speak, they can, but I want to hear from His Grace Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu, anything. And then, of course, Nupur. One or both of you can speak.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. I mean, I deserve no credit for whatever she has done today and she has been doing for so long. I just will share what I have observed in the past week. So, usually whenever we prepare, the ideal situation is we try to get ourselves absorbed in devotion, absorbed in pastime, absorbed in Krishna. And that's what she did the whole week, and not just absorbed, but she was bathing in, bhajans, Srila Prabhupada's purports, the translation, Bhagavatam, hearing lectures of great devotees. So not just absorption, but bathing in devotion. And one amazing thing I really, get inspired from her is in this preparation, she has done for herself, and she has, as she was also sharing, she has gone closer to Krishna. She has gone closer to Narsingadev. And as my mother was sharing that, how she ties Rakhi to Narsingadev. So she has that very personal touch personal relationship. Either it's with someone she is meeting at her college, or the devotees, or the Lord. So that consistent personal loving exchange doesn't change. So I deserve no credit. It just this is how she is. And I'm very grateful to Gaur Kumar Prabhu, Nitya Mataji, and my mother-in-law, my father-in-law to facilitate, and to Narsingh Dev Bhagwan you know, to allow me to be part of her life. So thank you.
Jai, your humility is melting our hearts, Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu. So wonderful. Last, Nupur, we can't let you escape. You have to speak a little bit about your wonderful sister.
Hare Krishna, everyone. What do I speak? I'm like out of words, and everybody said everything that I had in my heart. This class brought so many emotions. Like there were happiness, there was ecstasy, there was so many emotions, and all of them were possible. If I would have read it myself, I would have read it monotonously. But it was through her that all those emotions came the way they were. They were actually how Prahlad Maharaj would have spoke it. Like as Krishnan Prabhu mentioned, Nitya Mataji mentioned, the voice modulation she did was they brought the life to those prayers. And it was like so I was listening, I was watching Adivas ceremony yesterday, and then the Prabhuji who was doing it, he was saying that this is done so that next morning when we wake up, we remember Lord Narsingh Dev. It's him that we remember the first thing. So through her, this is like we couldn't be present at Adivas ceremony tonight. So through her, we'll be able to remember like all the things she shared, with the mood, with the love she shared. We'll be able to remember. I hope and pray we'll be able to remember the Lord as the first person, as the only Supreme Personality of Godhead tomorrow morning. I'm really grateful to her, and as always, I'm inspired by the selfless love, selfless care, everything she does with so much love, devotion, selflessly taking care of the lordships and doing everything while preparing. Every chore and everything while preparing, and without any complaints. She never complains. She so as Bhaiya said, that she kept preparing. Like she has so many notes, her diary is filled with notes, and she still was not satisfied. She kept on hearing and making notes. She wanted to give her best, and she did everything so perfectly. I'm so proud of her. And I loved how Masi expressed they were the tears of joy, the tears of pride. So we all are so proud of her, and it's so amazing. I'm also very grateful to have her association, her company. She shares so much love all the time. And I'm so grateful to Lord Narsingh Dev and to you, Prabhuji. I guess she got the best part. Narsingh Dev chose the chapter for her. And it was just all perfect. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, also, bro.
Thank you all.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nupur. Thank you, Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu. Thank you, Mahaprabhu Kirtan Prabhu. And thank you, Nitya. Thank you, Krishnan Prabhu. Thank you, Kameshwar Prabhu. Saraswati, since your name came up in the class, any words that you want to, आपको कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
I was going to text Mataji, वो जो बीच में था ना, oh, this is cute. Like I've attended classes, they're good, but this is like very बहुत प्यारा था. मतलब सिंपली बहुत अच्छी लगी मुझे क्लास. It didn't feel like a class in a good way. Like बात ही कर रहे हैं ऐसा था. बहुत अच्छा था. I was just going to text Mataji personally, but ठीक है बता दिया.
Good. Thank you, Saraswati. I know it's Ritesh Prabhu cannot speak. Vishal Prakash Prabhu, any thoughts? I know you like this pastime of Nrsimhadev. Anything that struck you from the class?
Yes, sir. No, I just like I love the way like I love the point which Krishna Prabhu made as well. the voice modulation which she had, right? Like, I could hear the intrigue, like, she was building the suspense for me as to why somebody would do that. The excitement, and I like, it was so infectious. I had a smile the entire time. And it was so wonderful to hear everybody, like, share, like, their, their feelings for Mataji. Very nice to hear. I just had, like, I didn't have any questions also. Like, she was so clear the entire time. I just love the way I just love the way you broke down the chapter, and then, like, each part of it. I love the way you sang all those, some of the bhajans as well. This was an amazing class, Mataji.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. We pray with all our heart that Nrsingadev continues to protect and bless and places his lotus hand on Manishika's head. And yeah, that's going to be our prayer. And finally, Manishika, any final thoughts before we end?
Like you prayed, like Nrsingadev, like puts, like he always keep his hand over my head. I would want him to put his hand on all our heads. So I'm really very thankful and grateful to each one of you. I just I don't know. I have no words actually. Everyone is so supportive, and Prabhuji, I don't have words right now. I'm so overwhelmed.
No, don't worry, don't worry. You don't have to speak. But thank you for all the preparation, and every word that you spoke came from your heart. So we were all touched. Thank you. On that note, we'll end now. Vanshakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.